श्रीकाञ्चनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति सर्वदा वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं शाग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते सप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये हंसाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो मय्यासक्त मना प्रार्थ योगं जन्यन मदाश्रय असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ध्यास्यसि तत्क्षण. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna that Maya-sakta mana, you have to train your mind to become attached to me, Krishna. Actually, that is yoga system. Our mind has got two business. Something accepting and rejecting. That's it. So, we have to train our mind in such a way that we become simply attached to Krishna. That is called Maya Saktamana. Mai, unto me, Asakta, attached, Mana, mind. Maya Saktamana, Prtha, my dear Arjuna, we just become one of the persons who are attached to me. Maya Saktamana Prtha, this is the yoga. Junjan, you execute this yoga. Maya Saktamana Prtham Yogam Mad Asraya. Taking this yoga can be practiced by taking shelter of me or my representative. Not alone. That's what Krishna said, Maya Saktamana Prtham Yogam Junjan Mad Asraya. Asraya means shelter. Krishna says mat. Mat means me. So, either you take shelter of Krishna or you take shelter of a bona fide representative of Krishna. Actually, if you do a business, either you transact the business in agreement with the proprietor or the proprietor's representative, the business is all right. If the representative of the firm signs that agreement, then even the proprietor does not know, it will be accepted as bona fide. Is it not? So, even though you cannot see eye to eye Krishna, you can execute this yoga system, Krishna consciousness, through the agency of his bona fide differentiation. Maya Shaktamana Prartha. And how it is asangsayam. Asangsayam samagrangma. By practicing that yoga, you will understand me or God. Asangsayam, without any doubt. Asangsayam, samagram, and in full. Not that partially. Jatha Gyasasi, as you can understand, Tatha Srinu, now, here, attentive. Krishna is beginning to speak to Arjuna about this Bhakti Yoga system, and he is drawing attention. Srinu, please hear attentively. Yesterday there was a question. Somebody, I do not know whether the gentleman is present here, whether you have seen God, Krishna. Not only me, everyone has seen Krishna. Everyone has seen Krishna. Krishna is not that you can see Krishna in this form. He is playing flute and enjoying with Radharani. That is his natural picture or natural form. But he has got multi other forms also. If you are not fortunate enough to understand this form, then you can turn your attention to many other forms, and you can see Krishna. Actually, we cannot see spirit, soul, even we cannot see. The modern advancement of science, they cannot see even the particle of the spirit. They have no power. Just like I am, you are. We are all spirit souls. We are in this body, but the medical science, after dissection of the body, cannot find out where is the spirit soul. But there is. That's a fact. But you have no instrument or power to see it. In spite of your advances of so many scientific instruments, you cannot see. Therefore in the Shastra it is said, Atas Sri Krishna namadi na bhavid grahyam indriya. Our these senses are so imperfect that we cannot perceive even what is spirit soul. We cannot see. That's a fact. And we cannot, it is very difficult to perceive also. But you can see also, you can perceive also by accepting a certain method. That method is called Yogam Junyan Madasaya. You have to practice this yoga system under my shelter or my representative shelter. Then you can understand samagram fully, completely, asangsayam, without any doubt. That you have to practice. And that practice is also not very difficult. Simply one should be serious that I want to see God. Everyone is seeing God, but he does not know that he is seeing God. That is Maya. There are so many examples. Just like you can, although you are in this room, you can know that sun is not yet set, because you can see your watch and you can understand the sunset time is not yet there. So you can understand perfectly that there is sun in the sky. It is a method. Similarly, you can understand God is there. You have to accept the method. If you accept that method is recommended here, Yogam Junjan Madasra. You have to practice this yoga system under the shelter of me. Me means, just like the same example, a business firm signs, we agree to this point. The sign manager signs, the proprietor signs, he says we the company, any one of us. Similarly, when Krishna says, Madhasva, under my shelter, it means that taking shelter of Krishna or anyone in the disciplic succession of Krishna. The same example, anyone attached to that business transaction is as good as the proprietor of the manager. So Krishna says, Jnanam teham savijnanam, the yoga system. Yoga system is a type of knowledge. Jnanam means knowledge. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam bhakshami asesata. I'm just trying to explain the knowledge or the devotional knowledge or the yoga system by which you can understand me perfectly, that I am speaking to you in full knowledge, jnanam, and savijnanam with scientific knowledge. Not that bogus knowledge. Savijnanam, vijnanam means science, with scientific knowledge. The modern days, people are advanced. They like to talk on scientific basis. And here is the Krishna statement, savijnanam, with scientific knowledge. Bhakhyami asesata, and I shall explain asesata in full explanation, without any reservation. Not that summarily I say something, you do not follow, do not understand, I finish. No. I shall fully explain. Asesata. Jajgatya. And if you fortunately can understand, Jajgatya neha bhuya annaj gyatabbam avasishyate. If you understand this science, then you finish your process of acquiring knowledge. Every one of us acquiring knowledge, that is called experience, one after another. So Krishna says that if you understand this science, savijnana, then your knowledge will be complete. You have nothing to hanker after any further knowledge. Knowledge is complete. That is also Vedic injunction. Jasmin vigyate sarvamevam vigyatam bhavanti. Jasmin vigyate, if you can understand the supreme knowledge, the supreme, then sarvamevam vigyatam bhavanti, everything becomes known to you. Just like in arithmetic, if you simply learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then you learn all the arithmetic problem. Because in the arithmetic there is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever you see, big calculation, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all. Similarly, if you simply understand Krishna, then you will see the whole arithmetic, whole world, whole universe is full of Krishna consciousness. That's all. Therefore in the Bhagavad Gita you will see that Bhudam Janmanamante Jnanavan Man Prabhupada. When actually one becomes wise, full of wisdom, Jnanavan. How? After many births of speculation and calculation. When he actually becomes, just like the same example, a very expert mathematician, he sees the whole mathematics, arithmetic is full of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually when one is in knowledge, then he can see Krishna everywhere. Not that those who are in the lowest stage, they think that Krishna is here in the temple and not anywhere else. That is the lowest stage of understanding Krishna. But the highest stage of understanding Krishna, the Krishna conscious person sees everywhere Krishna, even within the atom. Khandantara sam paramanuchayantara sam. Krishna can be found within this universe, in everyone, and as well as in the atoms also, within the atom. Samagra. But this knowledge is little difficult. Therefore Krishna says, Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaya. Out of many millions of human beings, one becomes interested in Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. When I speak Krishna, you should understand God. So Krishna says, Manusyanam sahasreshu. Sahasreshu, it is plural number, means among thousands of men, millions and thousands of men. One becomes interested. Manusyanam kaschid jatati siddhaya. Siddhaya means perfection. Perfection of life. One should be very cool-headed. The distinction, the human being and animal, the animal does not know what is perfection of life. They are simply interested with 4 principles of bodily necessities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all. They have no other enquiries. What is the perfection? Because that is not possible. In that body, in that animal body, cats and dogs or hogs or elephant, very big body, or tiger, very powerful body. But they cannot inquire what is the perfection of life. That inquiry is possible in the human form. The tiger has got body and a man has got body. Tiger may be very powerful, a man may be very weak, but there is a great distinction between this tiger and the man. Because tiger becoming so powerful, he has no power to understand what he is or what is the perfection of life. But a human being, although he may be very feeble and very weak than the tiger, he has got the developed consciousness to understand what is perfection of life and what he is. That is the difference. So people are trying to be like tiger. In India, a certain section of people, the Mohammedans, they say that we want to be like sher. Sher means tiger. And more or less in the Western countries also, everyone is trying to become a tiger, very fast. But one should be very cool-headed. The tiger is very powerful. The tiger can attack anyone and kill him. That is very good. But what is the use of tiger? Nobody is interested in tiger. Rather, if the tiger comes within the city, immediately it will be shot down. Because it has no use. But a humble, meek cow, of course here there is no protection of cow. But in India, the cow is protected. It is the duty of the human being to give protection to the cow. Just like we offer Krishna our obeisance. Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya. Krishna, you are Brahma, you are worshipable by the Brahminical culture. Brahmana Devaya, not by others. Because you are Go Brahmana Hitaya, you are well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmins. Why Krishna is not said tiger? Why this prayer is devoid of tiger? Hitaya, Krishna is always thinking how to protect the cows and the Brahmins. When Krishna appeared on this planet, he became a cowherd boy to give protection to the cows. He was tending cows by his personal example. You will read in the Krishna book how he was taking care of the cows. Therefore, Go Brahmana Hitaya. The first prayer is that you are protector of the cows and the Brahmins. Jagadhitaya, you are well-wisher of the whole universe. But your special interest is to give protection to the cows and the Brahmins. Why that special interest? Because if the human society does not give protection to the cows and does not cultivate the Brahminical culture, then it is cats and dog society. Therefore it is given. And as soon as the whole society becomes full of cats and dogs, how can you expect peace and prosperity? The dog's business is go, 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 go. Why you have come here? Why you have entered in our neighborhood? Please get out, please get out. Not please, get out. No. So, we have cultivated a nice human society that there are all, what is called? Dogs, the immigration department. Oh, why you have come here? How? Yes, sir, I have come here not to harm you, I have to speak something nice thing. How long is that?
Oh boy.
Not more than 1 month. All right. So immediately was dog. In every house, beware of dogs. Don't enter. Beware of dogs. This is human civilization. You see, you cannot enter anyone's house You cannot enter anyone's country. And as if you do, this means this is want of this Krishna consciousness. But the Vedic culture says, Griham satrumapi praptam vishastam makuto bhayam. Even if your enemy comes to your home, you should receive him in such a way that he will forget that you are his enemy. Griham satrumapi praptam. Satru means enemy. If you see that an enemy has come to your house, satrumapi, satru means enemy, api, although, you should receive in such a way that he will completely believe you that you are his enemy, and you are not his enemy. That was the system. In the Kurukshetra war, the two brothers, cousin brothers are fighting. But after finishing the fighting, there is no enmity. These people are going to that camp, they are coming, talking or taking lunch, very friendly. Friendly. There was another fight between Bhim and Jarasandha. The whole day there was fighting. It was decided that one should be killed. That's the fact. The fighting between Kshatriyas, that it will not end unless one of them is killed. That is Kshatriya spirit. So they know, Bhim and Jarasandha knew it very well, that this fighting is going on until one is dead. One of the belligerent parties. But at night, Bhim is the guest of Jarasandha, eating together, talking friendly. This is Brahminical culture. For duty's sake, for some cause, we may fight, that's all right. But that does not mean we shall remain inimical always. Griham satrumapi praptam vishastam makuto bhayam. There is another example. The fight was going on between Arjuna and Duryodhana. So Duryodhana criticized the commander-in-chief, Bhishma. My dear grandfather, you are affectionate to the other parties, my other cousin brothers, therefore you are not fighting very nice. You think like that I am not fighting very nicely? Yes, I think just to infuse it. Yes. So he said, all right, tomorrow I shall kill all these 5 brothers. Is that all right? Yes, that's nice. So I keep these 5 arrows reserved for killing these 5 brothers. So Duryodhana did not believe that he may miss these 5 arrows. But he said, my dear grandfather, better I keep these 5 arrows with me. I shall deliver you tomorrow morning. All right, you keep it. Krishna understood. Krishna is all pervading. He immediately said, Arjuna, tomorrow you are going to be killed. Be assured. Why? Now this is the position. Then what to do? Now you go to Duryodhana and take away all those arrows. Otherwise you will be killed. So Arjuna remembered that Duryodhana once promised. Duryodhana was elderly, Arjuna is younger brother. That, my dear brother, I promise, whatever you want I can give you. So Duryodhana said, all right, I shall ask you some days later, not now. So Arjuna thought, now this is the opportunity. I shall go and ask Duryodhana to give me those arrows. So Arjuna went to the other camp, and immediately Duryodhana received him as his brother. My dear brother, you have come. What do you want? You want the kingdom without fighting? Therefore you have come. I can give you. I can stop this fighting if you want without fighting. No, Duryodhana, no. I've come for some other purpose. All right. Whatever you want, you can. Yes, you sometimes promise that whatever I want, you will give me. Yes, I am keeping my promise. What do you want? He said, give me those 5 arrows. Yes, it is. Immediately. This is Kshatriya spirit. This is Brahminical culture. Yes, it is. Promise. Ramchandra was going to be enthroned, and the stepmother said the same to Dasharatha Maharaj, that they are stepmothers. Maharaj Dasharatha had 3 wives. So one wife wanted that her son should be king. So immediately she proposed that instead of Ramchandra, my son should be king. Maharaj Dasharatha said, how it can be? It is already arranged. He is the eldest son. Now you promise sometimes that you will keep your promise and satisfy me. So this is my demand. So what do you want? That Ramchandra should be banished immediately and my son should be enthroned. She agreed. He called Ramchandra. This is the demand of your stepmother. Kindly go to the forest for 14 years and your stepbrother will be killed. Ramchandra agreed immediately. Yes. That's all right, father. This is Brahminical culture. Is there any single instance in the history that a king which is going to be enthroned next morning and by the order of his father immediately he goes out to the forest? Therefore, there is no harm that we make materially very much advanced, but not like cats and dogs. Take Brahminical culture, then it will be perfect, the whole society. Go Brahmana hitaya cha, jagat geeta krishna govinda. That Brahminical culture can be established only by understanding Krishna. Without understanding Krishna, whatever we do, we shall remain simply animals. That's all. So, how the animals can be interested in Krishna? That is not possible. Therefore, Krishna says, Manusanam sahasreshu, out of many thousands of people. Just like we have started this movement, Krishna consciousness movement in the Western countries for the last 5 years. But how many people have come to take to this Krishna consciousness? Not very many. We have got about 3,000 also. Therefore Krishna says that it is not attractive for everyone. But if one is attracted, his life is successful. His life is successful. Lord Chaitanya also says the same thing. Brahmanda bhramite kono bhagyavan jeev. There are many innumerable living entities. They are wandering within this universe in different forms of body and different planets, transmigrating from one body to another, one planet to another. Eirupe Brahmanda kono, out of them, if one is fortunate enough to associate with a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna, his life becomes successful. Eirupe Brahmanda bhramite kono bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna kripa paye bhakti lata bij. Bij means seed. As from the seed, the big trees come out. Similarly, if one is injected with this Krishna consciousness, understanding, then gradually it will grow into a big tree, and when the fruits will be there, he'll enjoy life. So, although this Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, yoga system is very easy, still Krishna says that Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddha jatatam api siddhyanam. Not only perfection of human consciousness is there when one understands that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, Om Brahma. That is perfect. But if you study continuously, so many men, everyone is bodily conscious. In Moscow, I was speaking with a great professor, Kotovsky. He is in charge of Indology department of the government. He said, although I defeated him in argument, he says that after finishing this body, everything is finished. Let's see. No. The spiritual knowledge begins when one is perfectly aware that after finishing this body, I am not finished. That is perfect. Not that those who are in this concept of life, that with the finishing of this body, everything is finished. That is nonsense. Na hannate hannamane sarire, Krishna teaches. Na jayate namriyate va kadachi, nitya sasatu ayam, na hannate hannamane sarire. This Atma is never born and he never dies. Na jayate mriyate va. Nitya, eternal, shasvata, ever existing. Shasvata. Na hannate hannamane sarire. Don't think that because the body is finished, therefore he is finished. No. In another place Krishna says, Prtha dehantaram prapti, as we are changing body from babyhood to childhood, childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youthhood, youthhood to grown up and old age. This is our practical experience. I have several times explained. Similarly, this old body, when I give it up, I shall accept another body. What is that body? That will be given to you by the laws of nature according to your mentality. As you create your mentality, Janjam Vapi Smaran Loki, absorb your thought and mind at the time of death, then you are given a particular type of body, either in the of a human being or a cat or a dog or a demigod or a tree or so many. There are 8,400,000 of these species of life. If you want the body of a tiger, if you have exercised very nicely to become a tiger like he's strong, then God will give you next life to become a tiger, actual tiger. Why tiger like? Become a tiger. I give you all facility. Become a tiger. So what is the use of getting tiger's life? You know, perhaps you all know, the tigers cannot get food every day. And naturally, if in the forest there is a tiger, the other animals, they are very careful. But when he is too much hungry, God provides him one animal. Because God provides everyone's food, the tiger also must have food. Eko bhunam vidadhati kamat. That one supreme is maintaining all these living entities. So tiger is also part and parcel of God, and he has got that body. So God is kind even upon the tiger. And what to speak of the devotee. So, this human form of life, Krishna is stressing on this point that Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddha. Out of many millions, at least at the present moment, nobody is interested to know what is the perfection of life. They think, or one thinks, the perfection of life means to enjoy the senses to the best capacity, and as soon as the body is finished, everything is finished. Just like Professor Kotowski is told, with the body everything is finished. Therefore people are so much anxious to enjoy sensually, because he knows as soon as this body is finished, everything is finished, so let me enjoy. This is the misconception or illusion or maya. Body is not finished. You are creating another body. Janmana, Daivanetrena, and you will get another body. Karmana, according to your karma. Therefore, the intelligent person, Bhavanam Janmanam Ante, that intelligence comes after many, many births. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan, one who is actually wise. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan, Manga Prapaddate. Krishna says, he surrenders unto me. Why? Because he is wise. How he is wise? Now because he knows Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samatma. He understands that Krishna is everything. Not that he is falsely surrendered. He knows that Krishna is everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava, matta sarvam pravattati. Krishna says on. I am the root. Bijoham sarva bhutanam. I am the root, I am the seed of everything. Therefore, when one becomes actually wise, full of knowledge, then he surrenders to Krishna. Now, intelligent person, they will see this instruction of Krishna. Krishna says, that is our method. Our method of acquiring knowledge is to hear from the authority, that's all. Now who can be better authority than Krishna? The Bhagavad Gita is a book of authority, is acknowledged in every part of the world. Not that simply Indians or Hindus are interested. Any scholar, any philosopher, throughout the whole, any religionist, any scientist, even Professor Einstein, he was interested in Bhagavad Gita. He was reading it daily. So, wise man means one who understands Krishna. Our formula is, if one is not God conscious, as Krishna conscious, we immediately reject him. We immediately accept that he has no quality. Hararo bhaktasya kuto mohad guna. One cannot be qualified unless he is God conscious. His all qualities immediately become rejected. Why? He has passed MA, PhD and PhD and is honored in that's all right. But in spite of all his education, he will create simply havoc in the world. That's all. Hararo bhaktasya kuto mahadguna monorathena asato dhavato bahi. Because he is hovering over the mental plane, he will simply create havoc. His education will be utilized for his sense gratification, and he will not care for anything, just like the great scientists have discovered the atomic bomb by scientific research. What is the effect? Now by one drop you can kill many millions of people. That is his advancement of science. Or why don't you create something that people will not die? That is not. I can accelerate death, but I cannot save death. That is not in my power. Then what kind of scientist you are? You create something, you create some medicine, that take this tablet and no death, no more. At least no disease. That is not possible. There is disease, development of different kinds of disease, and they are discovering different kinds of medicine. That is a struggle. That is not scientific improvement. There is one problem before you, and you are creating some antidote, that's all. This is struggle. Struggle for existence. This is not scientific endeavor. But how one can be stopped from repetition of birth and death? That is here in the Bhagavad. What is that? Krishna says, Janma karma me dibbam ji janati tattva. To try to understand Krishna only. What is Krishna? Janma karma jo janati tattva. Anyone who knows in truth, not superficially. Oh, Krishna I know. And in certain place they have got an idol of Krishna there was. I know. Everything. Not like that. Try to understand Krishna, what he is. He is Krishna, undoubtedly. But people want to know actually what is Krishna. That we are opening. So if one simply understands what is Krishna, the result is tapta diham punarjanmanaiti. Simply by understanding Krishna, there is no more taking birth. Punarjan. If you take birth, then there is death. If you stop your birth, then you can stop your death also. Because birth and death is in relationship with this body. If you don't have a material birth, then there is no question of birth, death, old age and disease. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. People should be interested by hearing the words of Krishna. That is intelligence. Krishna says that in this way you can stop your birth and death process. So why don't you do that? Why you are after so many things? If you simply try to understand Krishna, and if you perfectly understand, then immediately you can stop your birth and death process. You are eternal. That is intelligence. That is intelligence. That's like Krishna says, after many, many births, one comes to this conclusion that Krishna is everything. So, why shall I wait for another many births? Why not accept Krishna as in everything? This is intelligence. Krishna is saying, he is not bluffing. So why not take Krishna's word as true and immediately, Mang Prabhupada, immediately surrender. Krishna, I do not know anything, I simply surrender him. Please protect me, that's all, finish. Business. Very simple thing. This Krishna consciousness. Everyone can take. It doesn't require to become very highly, scientist, philosopher and something like. Simply accept Krishna's word and see the result. And the result is happening also. Those who are accepting Krishna in that way and trying their best to please Krishna with this human form, how much they are happy, how they are enjoying life. So this is practical. So our request is that everyone should try to understand the Krishna consciousness movement and be happy. Thank you very much. What is that? Krishna has not extended Maya. You wanted Maya. Therefore he has given the facility to enjoy Maya. Just like the government creates the prison department. It is not the government's desire that there must be some prisoner. But you are criminal, therefore there must be prisoner. So you create the prisoner, not the government. Government creates the university, come there, take education. Maya is created by you. As soon as you forget Krishna, the Maya is there. Just like there is sunshine and darkness, side by side. If you want to keep yourself in the sunshine, there is no darkness. But if you voluntarily come to the darkness, what the sun will do? Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. You surrender to Krishna. But why don't you do it? That is Maya. It is up to you. Therefore you create Maya. Krishna does not create. A man is hanged. Does it mean that the High Court judge who orders that this man should be hanged, the High Court judge is enemy of that man is hanging? No. He has created his situation that he should be hanged. God is very kind to everyone, but we have created situation so that we suffer. Karmana, daivanetrena, by our own work and under the supervision of the Supreme. Just like in the state, you create some criminal activity and by the supervision of the government you are punished.
Recommend to someone who has already a family and who is working and who wants to progress in Krishna consciousness. I mean, has he has to give up his job and shave his hair?
No, never. Simply you have to see what you are doing. By such action, Krishna is satisfied. That's all. You can do anything. The taste is, that is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Ata Pungvi Dija Sreshta Varnasama Vibhavat Shanushkitasya Dharmasya Sansiddhi Paritosana. The example is just like Arjuna. Arjuna was a warrior, fighter. So when he proposed that I shall not fight, they are my brothers, my grandfathers, my nephews. That was his proposal. Krishna said, what from you got this nonsense idea? You are in the war field and are denying to fight. That means by his nice proposal that I shall not fight, Krishna was not pleased. But after understanding Bhagavad Gita, when he saw that Krishna wants this fight, yes, Karishe Vachanam. That is what it is. So he remained a warrior and he still became Prtha. So everyone can remain in his own occupation, Varnasava Vibhavasa, but one has to see that whether Krishna is satisfied. Then whatever he is doing, that is Prtha. That is Krishna consciousness. Yes, God sanctions, but you desire. Man proposes, God disposes. Whatever you desire, if you insist, God will sanction. And without His sanction, you cannot do. Therefore, your doing something is dependent on God's sanction. but you desire something out of your own wish. You are not a stone, you are a living entity, so you can desire anything. The Krishna conscious, they do not do anything without Krishna's sanction. Yeah, not God Gita, God sanction. Don't say like that. Desire is yours, but sanction is God. That's why you want to do some business. You must take sanction from the government, you take license. You cannot do out of your own will. Similarly, you can desire and propose, God, I want to do this, and God will sanction. So those who are not Krishna conscious, they want, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Krishna says, all right, take this. But Krishna says that you give up all this nonsense. That we do not take. Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityaj, mam ekam, simply take me. But that we do not do. We ask Krishna, please let me do this. All right, do it. Jateshati tatha kuru. Krishna inquires from Arjuna after teaching in Bhagavad Gita. Now I have spoken to you everything. What you want to do, you can do. That is Krishna's word. Krishna says that best thing is that you simply take to Krishna. But Krishna gives you the opportunity, liberty, that whatever you do, whatever you like, you can do. Now it is your choice. Just like father, grown-up son. He says, my dear boy, I do like this. That is my opinion. But when the son says, no, I shall do like this, all right, you do whatever you do. But without father's sanction, as the son cannot do anything. Similarly, without Krishna's sanction, you cannot do anything. But the proposal is yours. Therefore this makes God, man proposes, God disposes. So God is not responsible for your work. If you act according to the order of God, then He is responsible. And if you act against the will of God, then you are responsible. Yes. Yes, desire is according to association. You mix with the drunkard, he will desire to drink. And you mix with us, he will desire to worship Krishna.
Very good.
Therefore you are giving you facility. You associate with us and desire only Krishna. That's all.
But why there is duality in this world?
There is no duality. There is one, Krishna. But you have created duality. That is Maya. When you forget Krishna, there is duality. When you think that there is something else other than Krishna, that is duality. So people are not coming to Krishna consciousness, that is duality. They are thinking that we can be happy without Krishna. That is duality. If they know it perfectly well, that Krishna is one, and therefore my interest is with Krishna, my interest will not be different from Krishna's interest. That is oneness. Just like in a family, the head is the father. But if anyone acts according to the head of the family, then there is no duality. If some of the members say, no, I will act like this, then there is duality. If everyone acts according to the desire of Krishna, there is no duality. There is oneness. But we don't act, therefore there is duality. Therefore duality is Maya. So, you have question? All right.
Body or to go back home. She asks, is it only with this Hare Krishna mantra and by taking the prasad that we achieve that body?
Oh yes.
Oh, joy.
You chant Hare Krishna and eat nice Krishna prasad. Go back to home. It is so nice. And don't you feel how you are becoming nicer and nicer? Practical. The newspaper, one lady in Philadelphia, he saw our student and she was surprised. She inquired, are you Americans? So we are creating such devotees that people are becoming surprised how this is possible. Yes, it is possible by Krishna consciousness. Very simple way thought. Simply chant Hare Krishna and take Krishna prasad. That's all. Don't require any education, philosophical theorizing. Simply do these two business. Chant Hare Krishna and take Krishna prasad. And our temple is open for this. Everyone. No fee. No charge. So why do you lose this opportunity? Yes.
Why is it that some people want to approach Krishna with hatred?
Because hatred?
Yes.
That is always, not today, every day. When Krishna was born, there was a consort who was planning how to kill Krishna. When Krishna was born, you know that? So Krishna, to kill Krishna, there is a section of men who want to kill Krishna always. They are called demons or Rakshasas. So the Rakshasas, more or less everyone in this material world are demons. But those who are intelligent from this demonic life, they come to Krishna consciousness. Others who do not come, God consciousness, they remain demon, and their business is, just like consort, Ravana, simply making plan how to kill God or kill Krishna. There is no God, that is their propaganda. I am God. That's all. So these demonic elements are always there. You have to do your own business. That's all.
Why is there soul and super soul in the body? Soul and body are
Not why. It is always there. Soul and super soul. There is no question of why. But soul and super soul, they qualitatively work. Just like you have got your body. If you say why there is hand, so how can I answer? As soon as there is body, there is a hand, there is a leg, there is a mouth, there is a creation. The creation is like that. There is soul and super soul. Just like you have got the whole body, and there are parts and parcels of the body, the limbs of the body. That is the beauty of the body. If you simply keep a lump of body, it is not beautiful. Therefore, the body should be nicely constructed, and there must be different parts and parcels of body. There is a design. Then if simply there is soul, super, and there is no under soul, then how Krishna becomes Anandamaya? About the absolute truth, in the Vedanta Sutra it is said, Anandamaya Abhyasat. The absolute truth is full of bliss. So in order to enjoy bliss, there must be super soul and under soul. Otherwise it is not blissful. Is it clear? Yes. There must be. Yes.
Among the Bengali society, many people worship demigods and demigoddesses. Now,
So they have been explained in the Bhagavad Gita as lost of intelligence. Kamastasya hitavjnana jajanti anna devata. One who does not worship the Supreme Lord, but worship demigods or his officer in the office, his boss in the office, like that, but reject God. That person is considered as less intelligent.
how they can become God conscious?
By taking to Krishna consciousness. This is therefore this movement. This movement is to make everyone Bhaunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavat. They have suffered under misconception many births, and here is the opportunity that they can stop their birth and death process and take to Krishna consciousness and go back to home.
Does it mean that they should not worship the demigods and goddesses?
Yes, there is no need.
Saraswati and Lakshmi and
There is no need. Just like here, we have take practical example. They are not worshipping demigods. How they are advanced, you see, practically. And what the Saraswati worshipper has advanced. They fight simply. During the immersion ceremony in Calcutta. Now what is benefit? You should judge by the result, not by sophisticated ideas. There is no necessity. Therefore our Acharya Narottam Thakur says, that you haven't got to take shelter of any other demigod. Why? If Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if he is all-powerful, then even if you want something from Krishna, do you think that Krishna is unable to deliver to you? Why should you go to demigod? That is also described in the Bhagavad Gita. Antavattu phalam tesa tad bhavati alpamedhasa. The benefit derived from the demigod, that is temporary. But rascals who have got less substance of bread, thereafter, it is clearly said. Antavattu phalam tesa tad bhavati alpamedhasa. Alpamedhasa man, one who has got brain substance, very little. They are attracted by all this. They are meant for third class, fourth class men, because they will not worship God. All right, you worship this demigod. At least you try to worship something instead of becoming atheist. That is the process. But when one is actually intelligent, after many births, he should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Ramachandra also worshipped, I should not say, reserved Durga when he was...
Ramachandra also, constructed a bridge over the ocean. Can you do that? So why do you bring Ramachandra? He can do anything. He likes. He's God. You cannot do. God is so kind, sometimes he works with his devotee.
What is the holy name? What are the qualities?
What are the qualities of holy name? What are the holy name invested? What qualities?
Transcendental qualities. What is the question?
What qualities is the holy name invested with?
It is not clear. The holy name of God is God himself. As in this material world, there is difference between the name and the substance. In the holy name, as soon as you call holy name, that name is not different from the substance. Is it clear or not? That's what I'll tell you. Now your first question was, what is this holy name? First of all, try to understand this, then put another question. Don't disturb. First of all, try to understand this question. Holy name means the name is not different from the substance. Here, if you become thirsty, you want water, the substance. If you simply chant water, 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 it will not act. But holy name means, if you chant Hare Krishna, then you are associating with Krishna personally. That is holy name. Here the name is contaminated, whatever name is. But God's name, Krishna's name, is holy name. It's not different from God. Otherwise, don't you see, they are chanting Krishna. If Krishna's name is not Krishna, how they are making advance in Krishna consciousness? They are associating with Krishna. Direct. That is the holy name.
The best method is to recommend to read Bhagavad Gita.
To surrender to Krishna. You do not know this? He read Bhagavad Gita. You will see, that is the best method. To surrender to Krishna. That is the best method. What is the difficult?
How can we we can get satisfied if we can only serve Krishna? How
That you have to practice and see.
we can persuade say my family, say my religion to stop worshipping.
First of all, you persuade yourself. Then you talk of your family and relations. If you understand actually, then you will be able to convince others. But if you don't understand yourself, what is the use of talking family and friends? First of all, you, apani achari prabhu jive rishiva. First of all, you have to act accordingly. Then you can teach others. And if you are not pure, if you indulge in all kinds of sinful activities, and if you talk of Bhagavad Gita, what will be effect? There will be no effect. That is going on. They are doing all nonsense and talking of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore it is not effective. For the last 1000 years, Bhagavad Gita was known in the Western countries, but there was not a single Krishna Bhakta. Because they did not act accordingly, simply talked of Bhagavad Gita, that's all. Simply talking will not do. You have to behave as these people are, these boys and girls are behaving. Then you will understand Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
Spiritual body
After that you take another body. Do you understand it? Similarly, you take spiritual body. What is the difficulty? Can you understand that you take another body? Then why do you don't understand another spiritual body? What is the difficulty? You accept another body after death. Dehantaram. So instead of accepting a material body, you accept a spiritual body. That's all. What is the difficulty to understand? Just like you have accepted now this body, American body or English body, you can accept an Indian body, a Chinese body, a Russian body. In the same way, after giving up this body, you can accept spiritual body. What is difficult to understand? It's not difficult. Just like if you take birth in the sun planet, you have to take a body of fire. There are different planets and the climatic influence are different. And here the scientists, they are calculating from their own point of view. They do not know that God's creation. There are different types of body, different types of atmosphere. Just like the fish, they are living in the water. But you take out the fish on the land, immediately it dies. In your body, you have got a particular type of body. If you are thrown in the water, you immediately die. But you can understand that within water there is life, on land there is life, there is body. So when you go to a certain different atmosphere, you have to accept a different type of body. Similarly, when you go to the spiritual world, you will accept a spiritual body. What is the difficulty to understand? Prtha deham punarjanma naiti mameti. One should be qualified to enter into certain association, atmosphere. That if you spiritually qualify yourself, then after giving up this body, you get a spiritual body and you enter in the spiritual world. That's all. It's very easy. You make yourself spiritualized in this life. That example is just like you put one iron rod in the fire, it becomes warmer, warmer, warmer. And at the end it becomes red hot. At that time it is no longer iron rod, it is fire. You touch that iron rod anywhere, it will burn. Similarly, by spiritual activities, you can make these bodies spiritual. So that there will be no more material activities. That is spiritual body. Just like in this body, we are training our boys and girls. They are young boys and girls, but they are no more interested to go to the restaurant, hotel or bioscope or cinema or dancing party. They are simply interested to Krishna consciousness. How they have given up all these young men's demands. How it is possible, you can see. So when your material activities are stopped, that is spiritual.
The soul never dies.
Yes.
When the soul does not die, so where does it go after that?
He goes as he likes. Yes. He can go to hell, he can go to heaven, he can go to God, he can go to China, anywhere he likes.
What does that mean practically to surrender to Krishna?
Yes. Surrender to Krishna means you have to accept things which is favorable for Krishna consciousness. Just like we restrict our students, no illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication. If you surrender to this process, that is surrendered to Krishna. Is it clear? Yes. If you don't surrender, there is no surrender. You are not surrendered. Chant 16 now, and if you follow, that is surrender to Krishna. Don't take anything except Krishna Prasada, that is surrender to Krishna. So many we have got. So if you surrender to these principles, that means you surrender to Krishna. What, just like a good citizen, surrender to the state. What does it mean? He abides by the law, that's all. He does not do anything which is against the will of the state, that's all. So you surrender to the principles, then you surrender to Krishna. That's it. All right. Thank you.